children, welcome to Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School channel. Myself Priya teacher, and today I am going to teach you science subject for class 6th. Children, in our previous session we discussed about what is mean by magnet, and also we discussed about the magnetism. Okay, so it means we started lesson number 13, fun with magnets. So today also we are going to discuss the further points of this lesson. It means from the lesson number 13, fun with magnets. So before that, before starting a new concept or new point of this lesson, I am going to show you a picture and then you have to identify it. Okay, so see this picture and tell me of which thing this picture is. What is shown in this picture? Yes, correct, name is there only, so it is not difficult to tell me answer of my question. So this is nothing but a magnetic compass. Okay, so in our previous session we discussed about this magnetic compass. So how we can use this magnetic compass, or for what reason we can use this magnetic compass? Correct. So whenever we want to know that is there any substance shopkeeper is selling as a magnet, so we can find out is that substance is magnetic substance or it is not. So like this we can come to know that substance is magnetic or it is not. Okay, so by this compass we can come, we will know. Now some facts are given here about this magnetic compass. So the magnetic compass functions as a pointer to a magnetic north, the local magnetic meridian, because the magnetized needle at its heart aligns itself with horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. Okay, so we know in Earth's field, or we given name to Earth's surface as one end is a north pole and at another end is a south pole. So this is nothing but we can say it aligns itself the horizontal component. So horizontal, it means we know, so this is a horizontal component of Earth's magnetic field. So whatever needle is pointing towards the north and south, that needle is exactly showing as the Earth's magnetic field. Okay, the magnetic field exerts a torque on the needle and pulling one end of or pole of the needle approximately towards the Earth's north magnetic pole and pulling the other towards the south magnetic pole. So whatever magnetic field exerts torque on the needle, so pulling one end or pole of the needle approximately towards the Earth's north magnetic. Then the needle is mounted on a low friction pivot point in better compasses, a jewel bearing so it can turn easily. Then when the compass is held level, the needle turns until after a few seconds to allow oscillations to die out. It sails into its equilibrium orientation. So these are some uses and some functions of this compass, magnetic compass. Okay. So next, magnetic poles. So the ends of the magnet where the magnetic force is concentrated are called as the magnetic poles. So such magnet has two poles, north and south. So in our previous session also we saw that any magnet, it is having two poles, one is a north pole and another is a south pole. So these ends are the magnet where the magnetic force is concentrated. What it means concentrated? So see this picture. So in this first picture it is showing these lines or these circles are showing that this magnet here at the center, you can see this is a magnet. So it is having a north pole and another it is a south pole. So whenever there is a magnetic field of this magnet, so suppose we deep this magnet into the magnetic material, so what will happen? If we will see and we will pick it up, so what we will see in this picture, so ion fillings attracted towards the poles. So suppose we deep that magnet into the ion filling, so that ion filling, when we will pick it up, then we will see that most of these ion fillings are attracted towards the ends only. Okay, mostly we can see this ion filling attracted towards the south pole and towards the north pole. So at the center you will see lesser ion filling as compared to this ends. Okay, so whatever ion filling at the end side or at the end of this magnet or at the north and south pole of this magnet, it is lesser than the center. This is larger, or this is more than the center side. Okay, so this is nothing but, that is why it is called as a concentrated. Concentrated means ion filling is going to attract towards mostly to the north pole and south pole. So amount of that ion filling you can see at the both side, it is a more than the center. So this is why it is called as a concentrated. So magnetic force, it is concentrated at the magnetic poles. Now next, types of magnets. So there are two types of magnets. First one natural magnet and second one it is the artificial magnets. So natural magnets, we know they have no magnetic power. So natural magnets, it means it could be found in a nature. Okay, it is naturally we can find in a nature. Then they have no magnetic power. So whatever natural magnet is there, it is having a low magnetic power. For example, magnetite and leadstone. Okay. Then second one, artificial magnets. So they have a strong magnetic power. They are found in a different shapes. So we saw how exactly natural magnet look like. Remember that black stone I shown you in our previous session. So natural magnet, it could be like a black stone. Okay, and artificial magnets, we are going to shape them. So we can give them different shapes. So as I shown you that magnet which is in a rectangular shape. So this is an artificial magnet, and this magnet is having a strong magnetic power, and this is we can find in a different shapes. Now next, artificial magnets. So here you can see some artificial magnets. So this is having a rectangular shape, these are having some circular shape here, this is like a needle, and this is like a U shaped. Okay, so these are some artificial magnets. Now next, types of magnets. Here you can see this is a U-shaped magnet. It is also known as a horseshoe magnet. Have you saw ever that horseshoe, how it looks? So it looks like this. Okay, like U-shaped. So that is why it is named as a horseshoe magnet. So this horseshoe magnet, it is having a south end and it is also having a north end. Now next, it is a bar magnet. So this magnet which is rectangular in shape, this is also called as a bar magnet. So at the one end it is a south pole and at the one end it is a north pole. Now here you can see this is a disc like structure, you can see, that is why name is given disc magnet. Okay, and here you can see the structure, it is like a needle, so that is why it is called as a magnetic needles. So these are some artificial magnets. A natural magnet, we saw it is found in a black color and it is like a rock structure. It is having a structure like a rock. Now properties of a magnet. So let us know what are the properties of magnet. So they attract magnetic materials. A free suspended magnet always rests in a north-south direction. Then like poles repel and unlike poles attract. So let us know what are the properties of magnet one by one. So they attract magnetic materials. So first property of magnet, it means magnets can attract magnetic materials. Then next, a freely suspended magnet. So when we are going to keep a freely suspended magnet, it always rests in a north and south direction. So we know on earth which is a south direction and which is a north direction. We learn about the direction from our city also. We can tell which is a north side, which is a south direction, which is a west direction, which is a east direction, like this. So when we are going to keep any free or suspended magnet, it will show always, it will at rest, okay, it will always show north-south direction. Then one more characteristic or property is there, that like poles repel and unlike poles attract. So what it means? So like poles, it means north pole. So when we will take those two magnets and we keep them closer to each other, then what will happen there? So if there are north and north pole, we will keep closer to each other, so they are going to repel. And suppose we are going to keep the unlike poles. So unlike poles, it means one end of magnet it is a north and another end of the magnet it is a south. So one end of magnet, sorry, two magnets, from two magnets, one end it is a north and another it is a south. So that is why these are unlike poles. So these are going to attract to each other. So these are the properties of magnets. So like poles here given and unlike poles are given here. So here you can see two magnets we taken. So this is a south pole, this is a north pole, and another magnet also we keep closer to this magnet or this north pole, another one is a north pole and this is a south pole. So these north poles are not going to attract towards each other, so they are going to repel, okay. And unlike poles, so unlike poles, when we are going to keep these two magnets and here at the one end, so closer ends, at the closer ends you can see one end is a south pole and another it is a north. So these two ends are going to attract to each other. This is called the unlike poles can attract. So this is the property of magnet. So laws of magnetism. So see this video first, then I will explain. Whole video you have to see and then I will explain.
Properties of a magnet. Attractive property. A magnet attracts magnetic substances like iron, steel, nickel and cobalt. This property is used to separate iron from a mixture and also to remove iron filings from the ions.
See, this is the first property of magnet. So what is the first property? So magnet can attract magnetic substances like iron, nickel, steel and cobalt. So this is the first property of magnet. So here you can see these are magnetic substances, some mixture of magnetic substances and also non-magnetic substances are kept here, and you can see this man is going to take this north pole towards this magnetic and non-magnetic substances. So what you will see, so whatever magnetic substances are there, these are going to attract towards the magnet, okay. So this is the property which is used to separate magnetic and non-magnetic substances if they are by mistake mixed with each other, okay. So if suppose we have to separate magnetic and non-magnetic substances, that time which we can use magnet by using its property of attracting magnetic substances towards it, we can separate substances like magnetic and non-magnetic, okay. So this is the first property. Now next one,
directive property. A freely suspended magnet always aligns itself in the north-south direction. This property is used in the construction of the Mariner's compass.
See,
Poles exist
second one,
in pair. Poles exist in
Wait.
pairs. Compass.
second property, what it is? Directive property. Okay, so what is the directive property? A freely suspended magnet always aligns itself in the north-south direction. So here you can see a stand is kept here, and to this stand a bar magnet we tied here. Okay, and we made this bar magnet to be freely suspended. Okay, so we suspended here freely with this stand we tied this bar magnet, and after when this bar magnet is going to reset, that time, so what we will see, this bar magnet is showing, or it is going to be in a north and south direction. It means whatever north pole of this bar magnet, it will show, or it will turn to the north direction, and whatever south end or south pole is here, this south pole is going to be in a south direction. Okay, so this is the directive property. This is nothing but a directive property, and this directive property is used in a compass. So to know when so many travelers are going by the sea or the ocean, they are going anywhere, so that time they don't know which is the south direction and which is the north direction, so they are only having maps with them, and by this compass they will come to know that which is the north direction and which is the south direction. Okay, by this needle, whatever needle is there, magnetic needle, it will show them which is the north and which is the south direction. Okay, now third one,
Poles exist in pairs. If a magnet is broken into two parts from the middle, then each part is found to be a magnet.
okay, so this is the next property, which is poles exist in a pairs. So suppose bar magnet we cut from the center, so if magnet is broken into two parts, then the middle parts from the middle, then each part is found to be magnet. So if we are going to cut this magnet at the center, we will find this whatever two parts we got, these two parts are also again from two poles. So from these poles we will see, first part it is again converted into magnet, which is having north pole and south pole, and another part it is also converted into a magnet, and or it is only magnet but it will show both north and south pole. Okay, so this is the one more property.
Magnetic property is maximum at the poles. It is found that the property to attract magnetic substances is more at poles.
See, this is another one, magnetic property is maximum at the poles. So when we will dip magnet into the iron substances, so iron substances we will find it will attracted towards the north and south pole. So this is the magnetic property is maximum at the poles. So at the poles magnetic property is maximum, and at the center it is a minimum as compared to the poles. So it's a recap here. What it is given: properties of magnet, attractive property, directive property, poles exist in a pairs, and magnetic property is maximum at the poles. Okay, hope you understood these properties of magnets. So let us move to our next point. Which is laws of magnetism. So laws of magnetism, this law we discussed that unlike poles are going to attract and same poles or the like poles are going to repel. Okay, so we discussed this. Now next, unlike poles attract and like poles repel. So in this picture again that law of magnetism is given here by these images. So here you can see north pole, south pole, they are going to attract, south pole, north pole, they are going to attract, here north, north, they are going to repel, south, south, they are going to repel. If you cut a magnet in half, breaking a magnet, it will convert into again a new magnet which is having both poles. So here you can see a whole magnet. We cut it into two parts. So these two parts are again showing two poles, okay, north and south. Again we cut them into four parts. So these four parts are again showing two poles, north south, like this. Okay. Now next, induced magnetism. So induced magnetism is the next concept from this lesson. So south and north. Okay. So here you can see a permanent magnet is here and soft iron bar is here. So this is not a magnet, this is a soft iron bar, and here this is a permanent magnet. So permanent magnet brought near to the soft iron bar. So what we have to do, this permanent magnet is, we have to take near to the bar, then bring near to the bar, then soft iron bar becomes an induced magnet. So when we are going to bring this permanent magnet near to this soft iron bar, it will change as a induced magnet. So in magnetic induction, an opposite pole is always induced. Then two unlike poles facing each other is observed during the magnetic induction. Okay, so this is given here. In magnetic induction, what happens? This is the magnetic induction. When we are going to bring this permanent magnet towards the near to the soft iron bar, this is called as a magnetic induction, and opposite pole is always induced. So these we should have to keep these north and south pole near to each other. It means when this is not having any pole, when this is a soft iron bar, this is not having any pole, but when it will change into an induced magnet, it will show exactly opposite poles to this permanent magnet. So north pole end we brought to the soft iron bar. It means whatever end is towards this magnet, it is going to show or convert into a south pole. So that is given here, and opposite pole is always induced. So two unlike poles facing each other is observed during the magnetic induction. So always two opposite poles it will be observed during the magnetic induction. Then storage of magnets. So we should have to keep or store these magnets very carefully. Okay, why? Because these if we will not keep these magnets particularly, so they will lose their capacity of magnetism. So the free poles near the end of magnets repel each other. So like this we have two keepers which are induced magnets in this case. So these are induced magnets here both side, and these are called as a keepers. And as such time passes, the magnet becomes weaker. So as time passes, if we will keep this not in a box or not in a particular way, so these magnets will become weaker. So to prevent this weakening, bar magnets are stored in a pairs. So for this purpose we should have to keep or store these bar magnets into the pairs, in pairs, by using keepers. So these are keepers. Keepers are nothing but the induced magnets which we can get by the soft iron bar and by the permanent magnets. So two pieces of soft iron across the ends of the bar magnets. Now electromagnetism. So place the steel object inside a coil of a wire, as it is called as a solenoid. Then pass a direct current through the solenoid. So here what we have to do, place the steel object inside a coil of wire. So we have to take a coil of wire, and inside that we should have to keep a steel object, and then pass a direct current through the solenoid. So we have to pass current directly, and what we will see, a magnetic field is produced on the solenoid. So on this solenoid we will find there is a appearance of magnetic field. So the steel rod is now placed inside a magnetic field So when the current is turned off, the steel rod is found to be magnetized. So because of this solenoid wire or solenoid, what will happen? So whatever steel rod we kept there inside that wire, that will change into it will show it is a magnetized. Now electromagnetism, right hand rule. So wrap the fingers around the coil from the direction of the current flow in the solenoid. So don't do this activity at your home. This is only for your information how we can get electromagnetism. For this purpose only I am telling you this activity. Okay, I am going to read you, but don't do this activity at your home at all. So the thumb will point in direction indicating the end, which becomes the north pole. Okay, so read this activity. Whatever activities are given in your textbook, only you have to read, but don't perform at your home. Okay, so it will be harmful, it will be dangerous to you. So earth is a big magnet. So earth is also a big magnet. So how it is? So we know that at the center of the earth lies a molten metallic iron rich core. So we learn in geography that how earth is having its structure. So at center which type of structure it is, at the side of poles which type of structure is there. So we learn about this. So it is given that we know that at the center of the earth lies a molten metallic iron. So we know at the center there is a molten metallic iron rich core. So it is rich in this molten metallic iron. So center of earth, it is rich in molten metallic iron. Then the outer portion of this core is molten. Then we also believe that this core is spinning. Also this core is going to spin. So it is believed that the metals in the core have many loosely bound electrons. So what it is believed that metals in the core have many loosely bound electrons. So whatever metal is there in this core at the center, and these metals, whatever metals are there, so electrons from this metal, they are loosely bound, and that these particles can conduct electricity, and because of that these particles can conduct electricity. So it is this mass of moving electrons which produces the magnetic field. So these electrons, because of this electron and because of this mass of moving electrons, what happens? That is going to produce magnetic field. So because of that it is called that earth is a big magnet. So think of earth as having a gigantic bar magnet buried inside. Here you can see, and in order for the north end, the compass to point toward the north pole, you have to assume that the buried bar magnet has its south end at the north pole, like this. So magnetization by the stroking. So by stroking we can change a substance into a magnet. So how it is? So by two methods, single touch and double touch. So this method is derived from applying the processes of magnetic induction. So note the polarities of both the permanent magnet. So we have to take a permanent magnet, then a steel bar we have to take, which is a magnetic substance. So any magnetic substance we can take here, steel, iron bar, cobalt bar, nickel bar, like this. So that is to be magnetized. So this form of a magnetism gained is weak but permanent. So you have to stroke once only here, so that substance will change into a magnet. So this is called as a single touch magnetization. And then second one, it is a double touch. So like this you have to take two permanent magnets are used in this method. So note the polarities of the permanent magnets and their induced ends of the steel bar. So this form of magnetism gained is also weak but permanent. Here you can see this steel bar is here, and we are using two magnetic bars here. Two permanent magnets are here. So these are used to stroke. Here we are giving stroke by these two magnets, so that is why it is called as a double touch stroking magnetization. Okay, so by this we can convert a steel bar into a magnet. Now an isolated magnetic pole doesn't exist. So I told you what it is. When we are going to break magnet into two parts, it will again show north and south pole. So that is why we will not read this slide. Last point, okay, uses of magnets. So it is used in a compass to find directions. This is based on its properties. Okay, so by the properties of magnets we can use it in our day-to-day life, like this, in a compass box for the direction. So it is used in factories for the lifting heavy masses of iron. So here you can see, so this is lifting a very heavy mass of iron by this magnetic property. Okay, so it is used by the surgeons in hospitals to remove steel splinters from the wounds. So whatever, when there is a accidental cases and when there is a operation of these types of cases, so in hospitals doctors are using magnets to remove the whatever steel or whatever magnetic substances are there in wounds. So to remove these are they are using like this. So it is used in a construction of telephones, electric belts. It is used to separate iron and steel from the non-magnetic materials, and also many more uses of these magnets we can find in industries and in any other field. So children, we completed lesson number 13, fun with magnets. So hope you understood whatever concepts we discussed in this lesson, and this lesson is there only for exam. So from 9th lesson to 13th lesson, all lessons are there for examination, but next lesson whatever I am going to teach you, it means lesson number 14, 15 and 16, these lessons are not there for the exam. So then also we are going to discuss these lessons. So we will stop here. Thank you.